What's up, guys? How are we doing today? So, I want to share with you guys the Tempest Magician FTK combo. This is a little combo tutorial of mine. I wanted to share it because I thought it was really cool, and the minute I discovered that this was a thing you could do, I immediately set out to build this deck, because while it is possible with other Pendulum variants, as long as you're playing Endmyion stuff and Guard Dragon combos, it's easier to do it here, because you need a lot of spell counters to actually get it off. 16 to kill flat out, 15 if you make Gave Dragon at the end. But in here, it's a lot easier because this deck is literally spell counters the deck. So let's get started. So this hand should get us where we need to go. So for starters, we're going to activate our Servant, and then Into the Void immediately, because you need to have 3 in hand to activate it. So we're going to do that, draw a card. Hey look, another Into the Void. Let's activate it. So activate, draw a card, up to 2. And now we have Dragon Shrine. So that keeps us from having to dump it off with Electromite. So we'll activate Shrine, putting this up to 3 for Darkworm, and then Darkworm effect, special summon itself. Darkworm effect, adding the Supreme King Gate Garnet is what I like to call it. And then I know we have 3 for Servant now, but what I want to do is I want to take Chronograph and activate it, and then use its effect. And the reason we do this is because if Ogre is the only hand trap that they have in their hand, then they're going to want to use it on Servant, or else they won't get to use it. So I like to do this preemptively so that if they do have Ogre and they attempt to use it on Servant, it won't go off and it won't get destroyed. Because a lot of people don't read cards. And to this day, I still catch people with Ogres trying to Ogre Servant, and I'm like, okay, and then I just do it anyways. So now let's activate Servant, and all the counters are going to get removed. Special summon our Jackal King. And then 1 on each. And then I'm trying to decide how we need to do this here. So we'll activate this in the scale to go up to 3. And then I don't know if we do that. Oh, I know what we can do. So we'll yeah. We're going to make these into Electromite, and then that way we have counters for our Jackal King. So here we're going to dump Magister, because it's really good to have your scales gain counters for the combo. It's really good. You could do it just with Jackal King. That will provide the counters for the combo on its own, but it needs to be really specific. So having your scales gain counters is good too. So Electromite dump off a Magister. If they try to negate it, then you can negate with Jackal King and keep going. And then we're gonna blow up Servant to add Magister. And then Servant's gonna rescale itself if it gets destroyed. So now we can do the normal thing. So activate Magister. Boom, boom, more counters. Now we'll go to the Pendulum summon, and the thing about this combo is you don't know if you'll be able to actually get to it until you are at the point where you can Pendulum summon. Here, we can get to it. I'm fairly certain. So next we're going to link off and start going in our Guard Dragon plays. And up until Agripane, this combo looks like a normal Guard Dragon combo. The only give that this combo has that tells you it's the FTK is the fact that they're going to try to leave a level 3 on board. But no one's going to really pay attention. So from here, we're going to use LP to summon the Destrudo. And then we're going to link these 2 off, make Agripane. And then here's where things get different. So instead of summoning Vortex Dragon off of Agripane like people typically do, what we do is we summon Dragoonity Knight Gay Dirge, okay? It will take a level 4 lower Dragon or Winged Beast from deck to hand, add it to hand, and then discard it. So what this is for is solely to add Zephyros and discard Zephyros. And Zephyros isn't a brick. If you hard open Zephyros, then you can use it for Triple Burst, and you don't need the summon for Gay Dirge, which means you can use Vortex. which gets actually a lot stronger. So next we're going to link these two off, but instead of making spheres, we make Dragonite Romulus. And then on summon, it adds Dragon Ravine. So here's piece number 3 that you need. Opening up one of these pieces isn't horrible. It's still doable, but if you start opening up multiple, that's when you know you just need to make like a normal board as best you can. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna activate Ravine. So Ravine is we're only searching that so we can give our stuff counters. Okay, so these are all gonna gain counters. Each one of these is gonna gain 1, and this will gain 2. Now we're gonna use the Zephyros effect. Special summon it by bouncing a card we control back to the hand. So bounce Ravine, and then activate again, so even more counters. This one should go up to about 7, this one will go up to 4, and this one should go up to 2. And then from here, we're going to take the Strudo, target Zephyros, and special summon it. So what it does is it makes it a level 3. So now we can make our Tempest Magician. So after taking 400 and paying half, that leaves you with 38 life points. So this isn't a combo you want to do into time, because this combo kills, but if they stop it, then while you're not in the worst position in the world, you're also low on life points. So there's a better way you can actually seal games off than this FTK, but let's keep going. So at this point, what I like to do is I like to take these 4, or 3, but it's only 4, so whatever, and make Agave Dragon, and it burns for 500 per dragon in your grave. The other effects aren't relevant because we don't play any of those types. So at this point we'll have 5 in grave, so 500 damage. And this card is actually pretty decent sealing games off in time. Next we're gonna sync off the Destrudo and the Time Gazer. Destrudo will go to the bottom like usual to summon Tempest Magician. And on summon it gives itself a spell counter. So you need 15 counters to FTK, because that does 7,500 damage. You remove all spell counters from your field to do 500 to your opponent for each spell counter you remove. You need 16 to kill flat out, but since we have Agave Dragon that we can go into, you only need 15. So right now we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're short, but what we can do is we can activate another spell. So let's activate the Secret Village that we drew into. And then up 2, up 1, up 1. So now we have well over 15. We have 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So removing all of these will be game. So if you're short spell counters, you can do a couple things. You can go into Agave Dragon, activate more spells, or use Tempest effect by discarding cards. You can give a monster you control that can hold spell counters. 1 for each spell you discard, or 1 for each card you discard. So that's a good way to make up for the deficit if you're short spell counters. So remove all of these and then just kill your opponent flat out. Now, I did mention that it's stronger if you actually open Zephyros, and it is, because since you don't have to make Gay Durg, you can actually make a Vortex Dragon and then do the Tempest Magician before you go into your Agave. That way, if they're smart and they actually know the FTK, since this is cost to remove the spell counters, right? You can't negate anything that they try to use to stop it, since you had to remove them all. But if you have Vortex, it doesn't matter. This isn't an original idea. I did not come up with this by any stretch of the imagination. I just slapped it into Endmyion because I think it's better in this deck than it is in other Pendulum decks. So, guys, that's pretty much the FTK. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked what I put out, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if I'm somewhat decent, you know. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.